We'll open the meeting of the Library Trustees, 5:20. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll begin with the reading of the minutes. Let's start with March 28th, please.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes as presented for March 28th, 2017.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, we'll move on to April 5th.
I'd like to move that we accept the minutes as presented for April 5th, 2017.
You have a second?
My second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Karen, we are ready for you.
Okay, great. First, my report to the trustees. You can see we had a very busy March. Had Tri-Valley's workshop concluded with a total of 72 over the course of the 7 weeks, I want to say. So they have not contacted me about a future workshop, but we'd be amenable to that if they wanted to do something along those lines. I know they have several different topics that they cover. And we had a grand total of 285 kids participate in the winter story times, which are now done. We just today, started the spring story time, which will be the last story time before we hit summer reading. So, anyway.
Are those 285 individual kids, or are those just a certain group of kids appearing more than once?
That's the total sign-ups.
Total sign-ups. Total sign-ups, 285.
Yes.
Wow.
Over the course of the, I think we did 5 weeks. No, it can't be. Must be 7 weeks. It's like late mid-January to early March, I think it ran. But we count number of kids per story time. So, because they do change they do change some from week to week sometimes. But that's how our, we've been told to do it by the Board of Library Commissioners for our numbers.
And these are kids, not necessarily Dudley residents. These would be kids in
that's right. We don't
surrounding communities as well. Okay.
Right. Some libraries do keep it to just the town, but that's crazy because we're so close to other towns. And, we've not done that for anything else, and I wouldn't do it for this either.
No, exactly.
I look at us more as a community library,
yes,
right?
Almost a regional type of thing.
Yes, regional, and I try to foster that attitude so that my fellow libraries do the same thing for us. So it's mutually beneficial. Yep. And I wanted to say that we had a wonderful Felted Bluebird workshop with Nicole Wander. That was sponsored by the Friends of the Library. That was a blast, and I think we'll have Nicole back in the fall to do a different animal, maybe an owl or something. George Martin had a wonderful showing for the genealogy group meeting with Margaret Fortier. That was, was it Irish?
It was French-Canadian.
French-Canadian, thank you. Yep, Fortier. French-Canadian, yeah. So that was a good showing for George. And I think the workshop went rather well. We had 11 people for our telescope program with Aldrich Astronomical Society. Oh, by the way, the genealogy workshop and the Felted Bluebird workshop were just 2 of the many workshops that are sponsored by our Friends of the Library, who sponsor most of our workshops and programs. And if anyone is interested in becoming a friend, it's easy. You can find the membership application from our website, crawfordlibrary.org, or visit the library. We've got little envelopes. It's pretty inexpensive and a great way to support the library. That's my spiel. So the telescope program, the Aldrich, we now have our new telescope in-house. The program kicked off at the end of March, the last day of March, with the society coming in and giving a presentation on how to use it and things to see in the night sky. We have the telescope at the library. It is now available for lending. That is its sole purpose, other than, you know, having intermittent programs. It lends for a period of 7 days, and it has one renewal for 7 days. And people should just come on down and check it out when we have either a waxing or a waning moon, I understand from the folks. Not a full moon. Too bright, he said.
Oh,
So anyway, more about that later. I wanted to say also that we have concluded our second session of Lego engineering, which was with the Dudley Charlton Regional School District STEAM program. That was a wonderful, successful program. It was 2 sessions, one in the fall and one in the winter. And the one in the winter was even better than the one in the fall. We had a great slew. It was full, first of all. I think the total was 15, and we might have snuck in with 16. And it was a collaborative effort between the schools and the library. It was funded by a Mauser grant, so we thank the folks at the Mauser Trust for very generously funding this program. It was a blast. The kids appreciated it. The parents appreciated it. It was facilitated by Playwell Technologies, and an engineer came and facilitated each of the 6 weeks, and they were building some crazy stuff out of Legos, I can tell you. It was amazing, and it's so great. It fosters imagination and creativity with these kids, and the sky was the limit. So maybe we'll do something again with them in the fall. And then we have our usual ongoing stuff. The Spellbound Book Club, the Kids Book Club, the Pokemon Club, and the Mason Road Literacy Lunch Bunch that Kathy runs. Her Youth Advisory Council and her Teen Book Club, which is running very strong. So, and then some miscellaneous other things. And Kathy held a Dr. Seuss reading contest for the month of March, which had 31 participants. The winner won a Dr. Seuss related item. I cannot tell you what it is, but it was Dr. Seuss related.
A big hat.
A big hat? I have one of those. In my graduation from, I digress, but I have to tell you this. My bachelor's degree from Providence College, the graduation was held in the Civic Center. And to find my husband, he wore the cat in the hat because otherwise you could never, you know. And sure enough, I picked him right out. So anyway, more information than anyone needed. Coming up, right up front and center, we have our Friends of the Library Spring Book Sale. We're right on the cusp of that. The member preview is tomorrow night, Wednesday, April 26th. It's from 5 to 7 at the library. You can join tomorrow night. And you get a sneak peek and get to buy all kinds of great books. We've really got some wonderful books in almost new condition, lots of fiction. It's a great time to stock up on your summer reads, so for cheap. So come on by. Member preview is Wednesday, tomorrow, April 26th from 5 to 7. And then it will also run all day and night on Thursday from 10 in the morning until 8 at night. And as well on Friday from 10 in the morning until 5. Those are our normal library hours. And it will also run on Saturday from 10 in the morning until noon. I'll be there during those off hours. So come on down and pick up your summer reads and support the Friends. All of that money goes right back into programming and supporting the services and programs that the library offers. Ongoing programs, we've got our knitting at the Pearl for adults. We've got coming up another session of chair yoga. I think it's our second session of chair yoga. that's going to start on this next Wednesday, May 3rd, and it will run through June 7th. So that's 6 weeks on Wednesdays, 10:30 to 11:30, and that's no registration. It's sponsored by the Friends of the Library. We have our book discussion coming up on Thursday, May 4th. It's Benediction by Kent Harroff, and books are still available for checkout if anyone wishes to participate. There's enough time to read it, and I think we might even have an audiobook or two available. There's also no registration for that. On Thursday, May 25th, also adult programming, we have...
Julie Shepanevich.
Thank you. I practiced that today, and it sounded nothing like that, so I was going to be very, you know, what do you call it?
Julius.
Daring?
No, phonetically.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was going to try to,
That's
but you
not in
can't.
Polish.
There's too
You really
many,
can't. Yes,
there's too
exactly.
many, far too many consonants in there.
You have to grow up learning that.
Exactly. Thanks, Pat.
You're welcome.
And she's going to come, Julie's going to come and speak on locating Polish vital records, primarily using the internet. We do encourage people to register so that we know how many handouts to make. And that is Thursday, May 25th from 6 to 7:30 at the library, and that's sponsored by the Friends. Upcoming youth programs are recurring programs are the Spellbound Book Group, which is for ages 3 to 6, and that's on Wednesdays, 3:30 to 4:30 in the children's room. The registration is encouraged, but it's not required. If a child wants to come, please do stop by. Don't let it stop you if you haven't registered. And that group has snacks, and it is also sponsored by the Friends. On Monday, May 1st, I can't see with my glasses on. Let me just take those off. Monday, May 1st, from 5 to 6 in the teen room, we've got the monthly Youth Advisory Council meeting. This is when teenagers and Miss Kathy get together and talk about what they'd like to see in the teen room, or programs, materials. Really, the sky is the limit. We get ideas. So stop by. It's a fun group, and there are refreshments. That is sponsored by the Friends of the Library. We have on the same night, so you can stay for the Pizza and Pages, runs from 6 to 7 in the teen room. Pizza and Pages is our teen book group. It is, obviously, there's pizza and beverages provided, sponsored by the Friends. And they don't read the same book, they read different books, and they talk about the different books. So it's pretty casual. We do require registration, so we know how much pizza to buy. So those two programs are on Monday, May 1st. The Youth Advisory from 5 to 6, and the Pizza and Pages book group from 6 to 7. On Monday, May 8th, the following week, from 6:30 to 7:15, we have a bedtime story and teddy bear sleepover. This is something Kathy does periodically in the children's room, where the kids come in, they wear their jammies, and they have a story time, and they leave their teddy bear, and the teddy bear gets to sleep in the library all night long. I don't know what goes on,
Yep.
and what happens in the library stays in the library, so I'm not going to tell. And then they pick their teddy bear up the next day. There's no registration for this, so that's Monday, May 8th, 6:30 to 7:15 in the children's room. On the following week after that, we've got a special kids craft club that involves the Southbridge Garden Club, I believe. They will be making a garden-related craft in the children's room, so we do require registration for that. There's no cost. It is also sponsored by the Friends of the Library. It is Monday, May 15th from 6 to 7:15. Now, normally craft club is 6:30, so I want to point out that this special one starts at 6 o'clock. They'll be reading a book and doing a craft. And then another ongoing one in the children's room is our very popular and getting even more popular Pokemon Club, which is kind of run by Harrison Records. He does a great job with these kids. He loves it. And he's gone to Pokemon University, I understand. And that's Tuesdays, every Tuesday from 3:30 to 4:30. And it just looks like a blast. We had another child stop by today, and the parents didn't have time to actually leave him. He just wanted to come and see what it was all about, and I could just tell he wanted to stay. So, yeah, there's no registration for that, and kids can just come on in, bring their cards or whatever Pokemon-related stuff they have, and join the fun. On to the blue sheets that you have. One side is this year's budget. So I am expecting a couple of the bigger bills that I haven't received yet to be in. So if you see that I'm doing very well this year, but that'll even out in a couple of weeks. So I will begin spending down my lost book money, and hopefully I will only be tapping into state aid for the computers that I plan to finish up that project in the next couple of months, God willing. I was going to leave that for my successor, but
You're your own successor.
that's right.
I don't think that's right. Blame your predecessor.
She's here now, so
Yeah,
we'll be
right.
getting back to that project because I want to get rid of the carcasses that are in the accumulating. Yes, Jerry.
Oh, no.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me a question. Yeah, so we're doing okay. And like I said, the numbers fluctuate depending on whether I've gotten a lot of my maintenance contract renewals and things like that. So be keeping an eye on that very closely over the next, well, this week will be the end of April. So I'll have yep, 2 months left of the fiscal year, believe it or not. Does anyone have any questions?
How is that maintenance situation working out? I know
Oh,
we made
really
changes.
well.
Really well?
Yeah.
As well as what's
You mean the
anticipated?
custodial?
Custodial,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very well. We have a good line of communication with each other. The staff finds that the building is cleaner and being done, on a more regular basis, a little bit more thoroughly. So
Win-win all
no,
around.
win-win all the way around, exactly.
Good.
So, and I have an agreement where, if there's a holiday and he can't be there, or he doesn't, he would like to not be in, like, say, for instance, for a Monday, then he'll come on a Saturday morning and clean. So, I'm okay with that, because sometimes we have stuff on Fridays, and which would normally sit over the weekend. So it's fine with me. As long as there's 5 days in that week, then I'm happy. So.
Are his hours going to increase when you have Saturday hours? Or is he just going to still clean on Mondays?
I hadn't thought about that.
Good question.
Too late now. So no.
No,
Yeah, but you don't have any programs or anything on Saturdays, just...
I will be.
Oh, you will?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some days you're gonna have to ask him to come in on Saturday as opposed to...
We've got a little, I think I can manage that.
Yeah.
So I had put a small amount of money in there for things like, shampooing the carpet and things of that nature. So, like
Yeah, that's
once a year or twice a year type thing.
good. The
So.
question is good if he can be that flexible. I mean, he's
Yeah.
that flexible.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's good.
So, we'll see. If it's a non-program week, I mean, Kathy and I will be, rotating through the Saturday hours. This is all if everything passes. So, if that happens, then we'll be rotating through, and I will absolutely be trying to schedule programs on my Saturdays anyway. Pardon me, and I know she will too, because that's been one thing that I think we've been really lacking, is the ability to schedule a program for adults or kids.
Right.
I mean, it hasn't really stopped me so much, but it'll be great to be able to do that. So, anyone else for this year? If you flip over, there's really no changes to this. We did a little bit of tweaking, but it really had to do more with, the cost of living adjustment was tweaked. ever so slightly from 2 down to 1. So, we'll see. This is where it sits right now, and as far as I know, it's still sitting this way, and I believe this has been, put before the Board of Selectmen, but I think they're still waiting on the schools
Yeah,
at this
that's
point.
what the article in the newspaper sounded
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, so I don't know, what the drop dead date is for that, but I
I
haven't.
think the schools are meeting tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Mm.
So hopefully we'll have something concrete pretty soon. But anyway, this is pretty much the same as what you saw last time with it's actually gone down just slightly because of the salary increase. The increase was decreased.
Oh.
So, any questions on those two things? Okay. I've got some miscellaneous things. I just wanted to say that the library would be closed on Memorial Day, Monday, May 29th. These are in no particular order, they're very random. But I've been looking at
Yes.
our weeds, otherwise known as a lawn. And I had Vinny Manzoni come by. He's done some landscaping work for us before. And I'm having him, the 2 sections, it's just so overwhelming to me to think, what can I do? I'm not, I'm not in favor of trying to make the lawn grow.
Right.
Because we're a green building and we aren't going to install, for numerous reasons,
Right.
irrigation.
Right.
And it's too late in the season to do anything of that nature anyway. And I thought, there's some sections up against the building that are so small, I'd like to do something like ground cover or something. They can't get the mowers
Yeah.
in there, they end up weed whacking, it gets all over the building.
Mhm.
And that's literally what it is, it's weeds, because the grass has
It
pretty
is.
much died.
Right.
So, Vinny came yesterday and he took a look at it, he just shook his head. And he said, yeah, I wouldn't try growing any grass there.
Mhm.
I said, yeah, me too.
Myrtle.
So he's gonna send me some ideas. It's the 2 sections, how, let's say, here's the pillars for the entryway
Right.
and the sidewalk.
Right.
And then there's the boxwood that goes like that. It's these 2 little sections,
Right.
like kind of under those big windows. And they're not very big sections, so I thought, let's experiment with those 2 sections, trying to grow some ground cover that's hardy and both shade and sun tolerant.
Right.
That's what he's going to send me some ideas. I've also been kind of looking online to see, and I thought I would maybe over the weekend stop over at Sprucedale. Oh darn, I'm going to have to go to Sprucedale. I better bring my pickup truck.
Yes, you best.
So, but I thought while I was there, I actually do want to look at some stuff for my, my own house. But while I'm there, I'm going to pick their brain because they are very good at recommending things. I want something that's just really durable, that doesn't need somebody to stand there except for establishing it. So, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that
I think that's a great idea. I really do.
I thought, rather than trying to tackle everything at once, let's pick a small piece that has a real visual appeal right there. That's where the sections that people
Does
see
it
the
have to be
most.
a plant, and it could be like stones, or?
I don't want to do stones there.
Yeah.
I think we're really asking for trouble.
Yeah, exactly. They'll end up getting tossed around. Yeah.
At people, cars,
Yeah.
Oh,
each other,
Mhm.
the
well,
building,
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
the windows.
Yep.
I wasn't, obviously it wasn't.
Stop me anytime. Yeah, so the stones are out, and then, as Vinny said, that's a lot of mulch. But if we could get some ground cover started, we do have some ground cover in those islands that seems to be pretty hardy, that juniper. But anyway, we're gonna bounce some ideas around and get
That's good.
something. I'll probably be, seeking, probably use, I don't know. I'll give it some thought, because this is kind of gonna be a long-term. If this works, then maybe in the fall we can do something else, you know what I mean? And then
Build
kind of go
on it,
from,
right.
yeah.
Exactly.
And then the whole front lawn, we'd have to do something, I don't know if that'll be the last thing we tackle, and
Mhm.
until that time, they'll just continue to mow the weeds down there. They don't look too bad once they're mowed.
Once they're mowed, it's kind of
If you
right,
squint when you drive by. So,
Well, when you drive by, your focus is on the sign, so
Exactly.
it's taken a little bit away
That's
from the lawn.
perfect.
hopefully.
good point, Richard.
Yep.
So, stay tuned. As I said, I'm going to resume the computer upgrade. I sought proposals from both Dell and Retrofit because the last, Dell came in lower than Retrofit last time, but I think I got the sense that Retrofit would have worked a little bit more if I had given them we went back and forth. I went back and forth with them a couple of times. So I chose Dell before, but there's no reason why I can't choose Retrofit for the next hassle. I've told them what I want. They're going to be a slightly lower version of what we got, less expensive. I need 26 of them all together. I don't plan. I might buy all 26 at once, but I don't plan to install all 26 at once. So. I do have the money set aside for block time with Retrofit for the install. It should be a less painful installation and deployment because there's not there's no files or anything like that on those computers. They they get washed with the desktop security software that's on them. So if somebody saves something to the desktop, once they log off, it reboots and it gets washed off of there. In a nutshell, that's how that works. Pretty common for libraries so that personal stuff and information doesn't get left, like, job applications, things of that nature. Yep, so I'm hoping that will go pretty well. I'll keep you posted on that. I wanted to also say that our new mobile application is up and running. It's on our website. We've put the announcement on our website, but it's available. A lot of libraries in the CW Mars network did this, and basically it's a customized mobile application for our library, and it's available from your app store, and you just need to search for CW Mars and download it, and it looks like this. It's also, again, it's right on our library website, our homepage, crawfordlibrary.org, and there's a link to download the app right on our website. So we're pretty excited about that. It works great. We're so thrilled. It's so easy because a lot of people are now using their mobile devices for everything, basically. And then I touched on this earlier, but I wanted to say that the telescope is available for checkout. The loan period, as I said, is 7 days with one 7-day renewal. If the telescope isn't come back, there of course will be a replacement charge, which you don't even want me to say.
But credit card.
No, we're not going there.
Security deposit.
Too much liability with that. Anyway, we have an agreement that they must sign, but it's pretty straightforward, and we will show the people how to set it up and use it. It's pretty easy, so I'm hoping. And this was donated by our Dudley resident, David Doobie. So we're very grateful to David, who is from the a member of the Aldrich Astronomical Society. And we're very grateful to David. He, of course, I've sent him a letter of acknowledgement. And we're very pleased to be part of this Adopt a Library program that Aldrich sponsors. So something like 90 libraries in Massachusetts take advantage of this, and it's growing. It's 90 and growing. And they're very excited about spreading the word. So anyway.
That's great. Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
And I'd just like to say because some folks still have heard in the past that Karen was leaving the library and see that she's still here. Karen is not leaving the library, we're happy to say. And based on our April vote, to have her continue on as our library director. We're very pleased that that's happening.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate your considerable forbearance and your great consideration. Would you like me to speak about the Saturday schedule?
I was just going to thank you for putting together that schedule
Oh.
that takes you through September to June next year.
Mhm. I was strong-armed into that by the staff, so you know what, I was
Well,
gonna
I
do
think it's a
it, but
good- yeah.
it's great for them. I needed the kick in the butt to get that done, so
Mhm.
that everyone could plan their vacations
Sure,
and,
exactly.
you know, and we can plan programs.
Right.
And everybody has seen it,
Uh-huh.
and everybody is okay with it so far, and everyone understands that, you know, there's gonna be minimal monkeying with it. So I think it's great that we have it kind of set out front, and now, you know, if, of course, there's always gonna be the unforeseen circumstance that
Sure.
comes along.
Uh-huh.
But I think everybody is, you know, on board and good with it, and we'll be working together on that. So it'll be
Excellent.
interesting. I know. I can't wait to take the black electrical tape off
Oh,
of the front
yes.
door. It's already peeling
Mhm.
off, like it wants to come off.
So the door was desecrated, and that
So,
abomination on there.
well, I put that on there because
Wow.
people were
Yes.
pointing. You know, if I
Right.
worked on a Saturday, they would see my car in the parking lot
Right.
and, you know, bang on the door. And if I were sitting at the front desk, they would go. And I mean, I would be like, oh, I feel so stupid. So I finally resorted to the black tape,
Yeah.
chalk over top of it. But
Necessity, but it's
hopefully-
time has come.
That's right. Hopefully in another month, we'll be able to ceremoniously rip the Band-Aid off.
Exactly.
So,
Okay, I don't think there's anything else about the Saturday schedule. So, any other business you want to bring before the board?
I do not have anything.
Well, in that case, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Can I just ask one question only? I mean,
Certainly.
we have to, this is April 18th?
Yes, that was my error.
Okay, okay.
That's
Yeah, no,
That's okay, it was.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Very good.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So